Hello. It is Mercedes, and I am back in my office, and I am so happy to be with you here today. And I am a little bit showing off. I just got this at market. I went down to Broadway today, walked the whole accessory district, and I want to say that probably 90% of the shops and the showrooms are open, which is fantastic news because the stores that are open, the boutique stores, especially stores in a resort area, all the reports I'm getting, even from my own clients, is that you're selling. We had an interesting weekend, but that's only because of the nervous Nellies listening to the news and hearing how the numbers are just like crazy spiking in certain parts of the country. It makes anybody want to stay home that weekend. But rest assured, people will shop. Shopping is therapy, and we need to fill our stores. And we need to be very conscious about how we fill our stores. It really is about buying every single week. I almost dare to say every single day. If you sold 12 blouses, over the weekend, you might want to replace it with 4. Like, I would be very, very conscious of my buying. I would still stay very on top of every single penny that is being spent in the store. You really want to take control of your finances because at the end of the day, profit is important and you're going to make a profit. But having that steady cash flow is everything. Cash flow is king. So keeping that steady level is so important. There are 3 ways to buy. I've always taught this in my buying classes: online or virtually, trade shows, and showrooms. Online and virtually, listen, I'm not a huge fan of it. It is a necessary way of life right now. It works out better when you have the experience of the brand, like you already know how something feels, you know already how the fit is. And then, even through WhatsApp, I've been doing a lot of business through WhatsApp. I contact my people out in LA, I ask them what's new. I already know the quality of the fabrication that they're using, so it's an easy breezy kind of deal. The trade shows, I'm going to desperately miss. The networking and the energy and the vibe that you pick up from the trade shows is so important to keep you going. The educational components of it is everything, and the ability to see so much in such a little amount of time and really find like new resources and really be the first one in your area to carry something is imperative, especially when you're doing that at a trade show. And showroom, it's really funny because I've always said that showroom is not for the weak of heart, because when you're in an environment where it's you and the sales manager and possibly the designer and everybody else on that brand's team telling you how great something is, it's very hard to say no. So it is important to really gather your thoughts, use an app like Fades to make sure that you're buying all the things and keeping track of the things, that you're not overbuying in one category and missing out on something else. It is so important to have your budget, but be flexible with the budget, because I really do predict that for next season, there's going to be a horrific bottleneck in product. Right now, there's a lot of merchandise. It's actually very deeply discounted. But when we're seeing factories that are reclosing in India and Bangladesh and China and Vietnam, in the Latin American countries, we have to be really, really careful about our supply chain and being able to get product on time. So I almost, and I know this is like dreadful advice that I have never given in my life before, but I almost want you to be overbought than underbought, because you're going to be able to find that it's going to be more and more difficult to do your buying, especially the way that we're doing it weekly now, in the next couple of months. I think that once we hit the new year, once we hit February market, March and April, I think that's all going to come back and it's going to be fantastic. But I feel like right now it's going to be very difficult. So if you do have the opportunity, especially to be able to come to New York, to have showroom appointments and brands, it is so important for you to have boots on the ground. You may not be able to come. Some of our California friends may not be able to come in quarantine for 14 days before they get to market, but find somebody, find a showroom. We have space here in my office, just by the way, but there's so many showrooms that will rent you a rack, that will rent you a table, and if you make the appointments, they will show it for you. Some of them charge a showroom fee plus a commission. Everything is negotiable, but my most important point is that you need to be in New York. And you need to be in New York during September and October markets, because that's when the buyers and this is what I'm recommending, so I know that this is probably what they're doing. They're going to be buying fall immediate. So that means you need to be in a stock position, and we can talk about that and all the risk management and another time. And they're going to preview spring. And it is so important for you to be prepared for both of those seasons. And buyers, it is so important for you to get as much experience, tactical experience, feeling some of the garments so that you can continue to do your virtual trade shows, your virtual buys, and your virtual presentations with your brands. I'll give you a quick example. There's this great African company that I buy from, and to be honest with you, African fabrics differ so much. Sometimes they have a hard, crunchy feel to them, and sometimes, like this one, they're so delicious and soft, but the only way that I could tell that is by physically touching it. So we're going to have to be doing business a little bit different. It's not the end of the world. Things are going to get really shooken up, but please, I promise you, if you stay steady, if you stay focused, if you have things to sell, and this goes for both the retailers and the brands, you're going to have to take risk in the inventory, because when the floodgates open and the dead weight has been shooken off, it is going to be our victory lap. So I'm Mercedes. I'm here in New York. I'm back in my office. I'm so happy to be here. Do remember that we have master classes, memberships, consultations, and of course, we have space in our showroom. Thank you. Be well, be safe, and wear a mask.